Google Business Profile can be your best friend, and it's a very underutilized tool that Google has built for you and is given to you for free. And surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, I guess, I'm always shocked to find out how few business owners actually have claimed their Google Business Profile, let alone actually update and optimize it. So I want to take maybe the next 5 minutes to kind of walk you guys through why that's important, give you guys some statistics to back that up, and then share some tips on what you can do to optimize and make your Google Business Profile stand out and ultimately drive some sales. And again, if you're not familiar with it, what it is, it's something that Google Business set up. It's a tool for businesses and organizations to manage their online presence across Google's platform that includes search and maps. It's essentially a micro website that Google has built for you. But for me, and more importantly, it actually helps customers find your business, educates them about your story, and ultimately leads them down that road to become a client or to make a sale or purchase from you. This is what it looks like if you're not familiar with the Google My Business or Google Business Profile. In this case, it was the Science Museum of Boston. If you just Google it, this is what comes up. On the left, it's their basic Google information. On the right is their Google Business Profile. And I'm sure many of you have seen this. It has information there as far as your website, your business name, obviously your location, your phone number, your contact info. People can actually call you directly from your Google Business Profile. And I'm going to share some of that data here momentarily. Maybe the areas that you do cover, if there's specifics, if you're in a state, maybe you only work in 1 or 2 cities or specific zip codes, you can put all that information there. Your hours of operation, a description of what you do, business products, photos, videos, and they can even link. You can even set up a link where they can schedule a consultation on your calendar right from your Google Business Profile. And here's just some statistics that most business owners don't know, but you definitely should know. And we'll start here in the middle. 56% of actions on Google Business Profile listings are website visits, and 24% are actually calls to the business. So what that means, of all the people that are visiting or seeing your Google Business Profile and taking some kind of action, half of them are actually clicking through to your website, and a quarter of them are actually calling the business directly. 64% of consumers have used Google Business Profile to find contact details for a business. This was kind of interesting, and I didn't realize until I prepared this presentation. 16% of businesses receive more than 100 calls each month just from their Google Business Profile alone. And of course, 90% of people read reviews before making a purchasing decision. And we're going to talk a little bit about reviews here in a minute because that is crucial. But this last stat, people are 3 times more likely to consider your business reputable if you have a Google Business Profile that's been claimed and updated. And we'll talk about how to do that next. And 70% of them are more likely to visit your location. So again, it's incredibly critical, especially when you depend on that local traffic, whether you're a brick and mortar or e-commerce. Google Business Profile is a huge key to driving sales. So the things that Google looks at to determine your ranking factors or your score are these 3 things, right? Relevance, so how well your Google Business Profile listing is set up. In other words, the keywords that you're listing in your Google profile are important. And just a quick tip, if you're not sure what keywords are relevant for your industry, you can actually just go to Google and actually search for the most search keywords in your industry, and it'll give you a list of those words and phrases, and you can actually update your Google Business Profile based on those keywords. And I have another tip about that as well in a moment. And of course, how far your location is from the person that is actually doing that Google search. And then prominence, right? Obviously, reviews are going to be a big factor. The more reviews you have and the better review score you have, the more relevant your profile is going to be. So things that you can do to optimize your Google business profile. And again, I can send you this so you don't have to write all these down necessarily. Obviously, complete all of the elements of your business profile that we talked about. And that includes verifying your location. And it starts by claiming your profile. So if you're not sure if you've claimed your Google business profile, look up your business, go to Google, pull up your business in the profile. If it says, do you own this business? Then you haven't claimed it. Just click on that link and it'll walk you through how to do that. It's a real simple process. And again, it's free, guys. It's a free tool that Google is giving you and telling you how to use it. Add real images and videos of your business to your Google business profile, right? Video content is king for whatever reason in 2022. And it doesn't have to be big, fancy video with a 3-camera shoot. iPhone video is just fine. Actually, research has told us it's more effective because it doesn't come off as corporate as salesy, but add video, add pictures of your products onto your Google business profile. Again, include keywords in that profile if you're not sure. Look them up. They're readily available for you. Encourage and answer your reviews, right? If they're positive or negative, we'll talk about that next. Keep your business information up to date. That is important. If you change your business hours or your phone number, your address, whatever that may be, make sure you update it on your Google business profile. This just happened to me literally yesterday. I was going to a local retailer before I went. I looked them up, pulled up their Google business profile. It said they were open. It was like 6 p.m. I drove there. They changed their business hours. They were closed. I gave them a bad review. That bothers me. Time is valuable. I don't like wasting it. Add any special features and attributes to your profile. There's a lot available. I mentioned one. There is a calendar tool that is free. You can use it. People can go to your business profile and actually schedule a consultation with you right from your listing. And again, add your products. But first and foremost, I think the most important aspect of your Google business profile is your reviews, and they matter a lot. And here's just a little bit of information as far as why that matters. And again, I know we're a little bit behind, so I won't read through all of these. But if there's one thing to take away from this, it's the negative reviews. And unfortunately, if you've been in business long enough, we've all had to deal with Karens at some point in time. And it doesn't matter, and I apologize if there's any Karens on this call, I mean no disrespect, but no matter how great your service is, how much you take care of them, you just can't please them. They're gonna probably leave a bad review, right? The worst thing you can do is not acknowledge the bad review and respond to it. Because if other people see that if you've ignored it, as tempting as it may be, the message it sends is that they don't care about their clients, and you better believe they're going to go somewhere else, probably to one of your competitors, right? So it's important. Online reviews are critical when it comes to your organic SEO score. So when people are searching for companies in your industry, whatever that may be, if you want to show up, in that top 3 or 4 or 5 spots, it's important. Google does factor in those online reviews. How many of them do you have? And more importantly, what are your Google review scores, right? And then lastly, I just want to leave you guys just with some basic tips. And some of these you may have heard of, some of the other ones you may not be aware of. But again, these are things that you can take back and implement into your business that I think will absolutely help increase your awareness and ultimately generate more sales for you and increase your bottom line. And the first one's probably obvious, but again, it's 2022, it's a digital world. Build, or at the very least, update your website. There's nothing more frustrating than going to someone that's got an old clunky website with broken links. It's not responsive. So if you're looking at it from your phone, it's not set to resize for the type of screen you're on. And typically you have to enlarge it, and people are just going to bounce. They're going to leave your website, right? And there's a lot of cheap platforms out there that can do this rather inexpensively. But make sure your website is updated. the links aren't broken, and that it's responsive to fit any screen, first and foremost. Get your information out there. There's a lot of different tools, and I listed one here like Moz that can actually help you optimize and aggregate all of those listing platforms, right? So they can work and update your Google business profile for you if you're too busy to do it, or if you're a solopreneur. Same thing with Yelp and some of these other review type of platforms. I know it's hard, again, especially if you own your business and you wear multiple hats. You don't have time to go in there and update all of the information daily. And again, especially with all these different platforms and social media and algorithm changes, maybe you don't have the budget to go out and bring in a big marketing agency to handle that for you. Well, there are less expensive tools and solutions out there that you can use. Moz is a great one. We recommend it to a lot of our clients. I would recommend checking that out. Obviously, Get Social. Everyone knows how important social media is today. We recommend trying to post at least once weekly on at least 3 different platforms. Now, do some research to find out which social media platform is going to make the most sense for you. Basically, where's your audience living? And I'll tell you this, as a business owner, don't make the mistake I made and discount TikTok. Because up until about 6 months ago, I was under the impression that TikTok is for teenage girls and kids and music videos and all that. It's not. The fastest growing demographic on TikTok is entrepreneurs over the age of 40. So utilize that, but do some research. We recommend posting at least 3 times on average per week, just to kind of keep consistent, stay top of mind. Again, it's about consistency if you're doing it organically or if you're not paying for it. And then keep in touch with current and former customers. I know that sounds like low-hanging fruit, but I was at a recent marketing summit, and there was a customer service professional there, and she gave an alarming stat. At least it was alarming to me. 67% of clients that leave you or don't come back do so because they feel neglected or ignored. And you guys all know the numbers. It's, I think, what, 10 times cheaper to keep an existing client than it is to get a new one. The simple solution for that is just stay in touch with them, whether you're doing that with a weekly newsletter. For a lot of our clients, especially if they're running active campaigns, we'll send them a weekly executive summary just to say, hey, this week, here's what's happening in your campaign. Here's what we've done. Here's what you can expect is going to happen over the next week, right? But at the very least, put out a bi-weekly newsletter. Stay top, it's important. Stay top of mind. Reach out every once in a while. Hey, how you doing? Haven't talked to you in 3 months. Maybe let's schedule a 15-minute check-in call. Again, low-hanging fruit. Some of you are probably already doing that. Create content for your customer. By this, I don't mean call your customers and say, hey, what kind of content or work do you have that I can do for you? I mean create content around what's relevant for your customer or your target audience. And again, you can research that. Just go to Google and pull up what relevant keywords or key phrases is your target audience searching for, and build the content on your website around that, right? Not only is it going to help increase your Google and your search score and all of your SEO because you're providing more relevant info, it's going to keep people on your site longer and educate them quicker. It's going to pull them through that funnel quicker if they have the information that they're looking for at their fingertips. Again, there's nothing more frustrating than going to a website, having to bounce around and dig around for 10, 15 minutes before you finally figure out what they're doing or what their differentiator is, right? You have to make it easy for them. Our attention spans, again, are not what they used to be. Get reviews. Don't be afraid to ask for them. People are not just going to willingly give you a review no matter how great you are, unless it's a negative review. Those you don't have to ask for. But be proactive. Again, there's services out there. There's even some free ones now that you can use that as soon as the client's done, as soon as they make a purchase or their project is finished, it's an automated text or email, super simple. Hey, you're happy with what we did. Can you please leave us a review? Gives them the link, takes them 15 seconds. It does make a difference, and you'd be surprised how many of your clients will do that. Get video. Again, video content is king. The more video you can provide, the better. Does not have to be fancy. iPhone video, personal, doesn't come off as corporate or salesy. People will relate to that more. And don't get overwhelmed. Just bite off little chunks, especially if you're trying to do your marketing yourself. It's a process, just maybe focus on one element that you can fix at a time, get good at that, and then move on to the next thing. Or ideally, if you can, go out and hire a marketing company that does this for a living. Let them do what they do best and let you do what you do best, which is grow your business, right? And then again, last, a few myths that maybe you're familiar with, maybe you're not. I just want to kind of validate or bust a few of these. We talked about SEO. Will it provide me with short-term leads? No, it's a long-term approach. We like to say 12 to 24 months, and that's assuming you're doing it right before you really start to see results with SEO. But there are other tools that can get you that short-term ROI that you're looking for. We talked about programmatic being one of them. Boosted posts can work. They can work. And by boosted posts, I mean on Facebook or Instagram, where you pay a little more and that pushes your post out to a slightly bigger audience. It's not necessarily always the case, right? I mean, social media, it's pay to play, but the key to boosting posts is consistency. Again, 35 touch points on average. So if you're boosting posts once or twice a month, you're better suited to use that money for something else, right? Because it's not going to be consistent enough to really get you the results you're looking for. Buying leads is easier. Huge false there. The biggest area of growth for our agency over the last year has been from companies that are usually buying lead lists from other companies and now switching to using technology like programmatic, which can create them their own lead list. Because if you're buying lead lists, what's happening is the company you're buying them from is also selling them to your competitors, right? So you're competing against your own dollar. You don't know how vetted those leads are. How recent are they? How updated is the contact information? How many of those leads are from bots? There's technology out there that you can utilize to create your own lead list. And typically it's a lot cheaper to go that route than it is to buy a bunch of leads where half of them aren't qualified and the rest you're going to have to continuously do the outreach before you finally get to that decision maker, right? Next, my audience isn't online. Obviously, we all know that's false. Everyone's audience is online. I have a 5-year-old nephew in Las Vegas that has a tablet and a phone. That little shit texts me every week. Everyone's audience is online. Tracking and retargeting is going to become obsolete. I hear that once in a while because of the ad blockers, the VPNs that people are using. That's false. Less than 2% of the online audience uses ad blockers or VPNs. And let me tell you a little secret. Same companies, the Apples and Googles that are creating these ad blockers, rely on their ad revenue to meet their goals every year. So you better believe they're going to build workarounds that you can use to reach that audience. But again, technology that's out there today, there's no shortage of different channels in the digital spectrum that you can use to get in front of your target audience. Remember one thing, it's about reaching the right person with the right message at the right time.